Welcome to the Mystic Media channel. I am your host, Rabina Rastaban, aka The Realist Astrologer. And I apologize for taking so long to upload another video, but I was on vacation for the past 10 days. And I'm back and I'm ready to get back into the Dark Sided Zodiac Female series. So tonight I will be discussing the Dark Sided Leo female. So let's begin. So the dark-sided Leo female is very egotistical, just like the dark-sided Leo male. So she could be very arrogant, very vain. Actually, she's the most fearful when it comes to aging. The dark-sided Leo female is very concerned with her physical appearance, and she always wants to portray this persona of youthfulness and attractiveness. Also, she could be very superficial in that respect. Just always being concerned with appearances, like I said, so she'll place a high value upon physical appearance and how others look, as well as how she looks. And in that vein, she could be very insecure and very self-conscious when it comes to her appearance. So she may always be looking in the mirror, may always be primping and, trying to, impress others. That deals with her constant need for attention. The dark-sided Leo female can also be very territorial and be very jealous when in relationships, or just be very jealous in general when it comes to other people's shine and success. The dark-sided Leo female is outright bossy. I mean, she is bossy, bossy, bossy. The dark-sided Aries female is bossy as well, but the dark-sided Leo female takes the cake when it comes to bossiness. So she will boss her man around, she will boss her kids around, she will boss her friends, her family, even her own boss she will try to boss around. So it's very hard for her to maintain the role as employee, especially in those situations or positions where there's a high degree of supervision or micromanagement. The dark-sided Leo female has a hard time taking orders because she naturally wants to take the lead. Also, the dark-sided Leo female is an authoritarian. So again, that goes with that bossy persona. And just think about Khalees, who's a Leo. She put out that song, I'm Bossy. So that's the epitome of Leo right there. So she just said it for herself, bossy. I can't say it enough. The dark-sided Leo female is bossy as hell. Also, she has a tendency to be vulgar and loud. See, Leo is a very gregarious sign, very sociable, very warm and inviting. But at the same time, that's male energy that they're working with. So a lot of times the dark-sided Leo female can be vulgar, can be very loud, has a tendency to curse like a sailor, especially when she's angry. Also, the dark-sided Leo female tends to be very bad with money and spending. She may have bad credit. She may have fallen victim to bankruptcy maybe once or twice, or maybe even more than that. When in a relationship with a dark-sided Leo, you always have to watch your account, your balance. Always have to make sure you put this woman on a budget, because she will spend to no end. Because she likes luxury, she likes the finer things in life, and she feels that she's a queen, so she just feels that she deserves the finer things in life. So don't be surprised if she's spending up your paycheck on, frivolous things such as clothes and jewelry and whatnot, and just going out and having a great time. Leo loves to give, and they love to shower their friends and family and lovers with gifts, but along with that, they may lack discretion in spending. So you really got to watch them around money. The dark side Leo female is also an exhibitionist. So think about Madonna, who's a Leo, and she plays the role of the dark side Leo female very well. Also think about Megan Good. She's another Leo, and she's married to that Seventh-day Adventist preacher. Yet and still, she'll still wear these like very low cut dresses, or it'll be like a very high slit. She's showing a lot of cleavage. So that's that whole exhibitionist persona. The sun basically is very exhibitionist. The sun rules Leo. Leo shines. Leo always wants to present in a big way. So along with that comes an exhibitionist type of behavior. The dark side of Leo female can be overly dramatic. Now, Leo is a very dramatic sign, but the dark side of Leo female, she'll be very dramatic. A lot of times it's just too much. Sometimes, she'll make mountains out of molehills, like the dark side of Cancer female, but the dark side of Leo female will be very loud with it, will, be playing the part to the hilt, will even come across as intimidating in her overly dramatic ways. The dark sided Leo female can also be prejudiced, racist, elitist, and snobbish. So, if she's dealing with people who have values that differ from hers, or if she just feels that, you're of a lower station or you're just not, of her type, she may come across as kind of elitist, or she might just be downright prejudiced or racist. And that's because Leo wants to basically rule their territory, be the queen or king of their throne, and it deals with being in charge of a certain nation or group or whatever. So if they feel like you're not within that, then they're going to be prejudiced and you're going to be like an outcast to them. It's all about hierarchy with them, that whole rulership thing, royalty. Also, the dark side of Leo female can be hard-headed, she could be stubborn. Another thing about her, she can be naive and very easy to fool, especially when it comes to false flattery. And she can be childish in that respect. So it's kind of easy for guys to pull a fast one on them. And in that vein, they have a tendency to pick the wrong types of guys. And they will be blind to it where everybody around them can see that this guy is not good for them, but they just don't see it because the guy is basically using very elementary tricks and schemes in order to win them over, and they're falling for it. So that's that whole naive persona, and kind of taking a childish approach. The main thing is with Leo women, everything they do comes from the heart, and sometimes the heart lacks discretion and it lacks logic and rationality. Even though the sun can be very rational, a lot of times that deals with the male counterpart of Leo. With Leo female, a lot of times they are ruled by their passions, their emotions, and their heart. So they often make bad choices in men as a result. Also, the dark sided Leo female can be very disagreeable, especially when given advice or constructive criticism. Basically, she cannot take criticism whatsoever, even if it's constructive, even if it's for her own good. It's because she always wants to believe that she's right. Just think about a king or a queen. They never want to be told that they're wrong. They're very temperamental, and only certain people can deal with them in terms of, letting them know, that something's not right or they're going in the wrong direction. You really got to walk on eggshells when it comes to, trying to set a Leo straight, because they will fly into a rage and go off on this tirade, all because they're trying to protect their delicate ego. Also, the dark side of Leo female, she tries to be one of the guys. So again, she's ruled by masculine energy. But unlike the dark side of Aries female, who can like really fall in with the guys and be one of them, the dark side of Leo female tends to fail miserably at it. And again, it deals with her delicate ego. So you know how men, they can joke with one another and tease one another and whatnot, and take digs at one another. Well, the dark side of Leo female, she's so sensitive to that a lot of times she'll just mess up a good thing among men when she's trying to be one of the guys, or sometimes she's just too domineering, too bossy, and that turns men off. And at the same time, while she's trying to be one of the guys, she's also trying to pull one of those guys that are in that circle. Believe it or not, she might try to act like she's just all cool with all of them, but she's trying to catch one of them. Also, the dark-sided female, and it goes Leo female, and it goes along with this childish persona. They have a tendency to ask stupid questions at times, and sometimes it's because they have that need for constant attention, but sometimes it's just because they just don't think things through, and they have this tendency to be kind of clueless at times. Also, the dark sided Leo female can be a cradle robber. And again, it goes with that fear of aging. So they'll latch on to younger men or be attracted to younger men just to feel that sense of youthfulness and to feel that passion. So think about Madonna. She's always going after some young black or Hispanic male. She was running through basketball players in the prime of her career. She's done slept with so many different types of dudes, especially like her dancers and whatnot. Jennifer Lopez is another one with that Casper Smart. He's much younger than she is, and basically he doesn't have much going for him but basically youth. So another thing, another reason why the dark side Leo female is attracted to younger men is so that they can dominate them. So again, it goes back to that bossiness and that need to control and be an authoritarian. So yeah, they're definitely cradle robbers, and they are also the quintessential cougar chick. Also, the dark sided Leo female is ultra competitive, so she always wants to win, especially when it comes to other women. So a lot of times she feels threatened. Same like with the dark sided Taurus chick, she'll feel threatened around other women, especially women that are very attractive, or who she deems to be more attractive or more powerful or persuasive than she is, or more confident. Also, she could be unreasonable when it comes to something that she wants. Another thing is, when it comes to relationships, she will berate, belittle, and curse out her man. She will even physically abuse her man if she could get away with it. She's one of the chief abusers when it comes to dark-sided females of the zodiac. She will whoop her man's ass if she can, and usually she will pick a man that won't hit her back. Because, like I said, the dark sided Leo female has a need to control and dominate. So she may pick a man that, she knows subconsciously is not going to go upside her head if she chooses to put her hands on him. Also, she'll treat her man like a child, especially if it's her husband, because she feels like she already has him. So she has a tendency to take her man for granted, and she'll treat her husband like a child. Like if she sees that he puts on something that she doesn't like, she'll be like, are you, going out like that? Are you really going to wear that? Here, put this on. So she can actually push her man away from her with her domineering ways and her belittling. So she'll be wondering why her man is not, giving her the attention, or, he's running around town with some other women. And that's part of the reason she treats him like a child. So he'll look to other women to feel like a man. Also, the dark side Leo female tends to take herself too seriously, and that deals with that whole authoritarian and bossy nature, and also how she can't stand to be criticized. So a lot of times, like the dark sided Cancer female, she can't take jokes when the joke is on her. She gets real very sensitive about that. Also, the dark sided Leo female will steal your shine. If you're shining and you're on top of your game, and she feels like she can latch on to you to get some of that shine, she'll definitely do that. She has a tendency to try to upstage you or step on your toes. She'll even steal words that you'll say, or certain phrases, or she'll try to take credit for somebody else's ideas. So again, it deals with that competitive nature. But and she'll call it sharing. So in her mind, she's just sharing the knowledge or sharing the wealth. But in your eyes, basically, she's trying to upstage you. Also, like when drunk, she tends to be very messy, can be violent, will be loud, obnoxious. Even when she's tipsy, sometimes she'll act like she's, just drunk, falling down drunk, when she's not really. And again, that deals with that overly dramatic nature, and also that childishness with them at times. So you really want to watch them around the booze. And they just basically can't deal with any type of drugs or alcohol without really, getting messy about it. So they make, horrible drug users and alcoholics. Now, when it comes to being a mother, the dark-sided Leo female tends to favor sons over daughters. So if she has sons and daughters, she may give her daughters hell, be very hypercritical of them, be very controlling and bossy over them. But she may put her sons on a pedestal, because again, the dark-sided female is ruled by masculinity, or masculine energy, and she tends to prefer the company of males to females, just like the dark-sided Aries female. But unlike the dark-sided Aries female, the dark-sided Leo female is doing that because she basically puts men up on a pedestal. So in that vein, she's liable to treat her sons like they're, little princes, like they can't do anything wrong. They could be very disrespectful and be very, devious, or, just be a pain in the ass when around other people. But when those other people complain about her children, she'll rush to their defense. If they're having problems in school or whatever, it's always, no, not my child. My child would never. So a lot of times she has a hard time seeing when her children, which she sees as an extension of herself, dealing with this whole ego thing with her, she has a hard time seeing when her children are wrong. Now, when her children want to act up in front of her, that's when they're going to have some problems, because the Leo female refuses to be shamed, so, or embarrassed. So she will not allow her children to cut up in front of her, but when they cut up in front of other people, she'll rush to their defense. Also, the dark side of Leo female can be the soccer type of mom, very competitive, even low down and dirty when it comes to, making sure that their children come up on top or that they're winners. The dark side of Leo female might trip one of the children on the opposing team just to, have her child's team be at the advantage. She just has a tendency to spoil her kids rotten. So she might have the type of children that, have a hard time leaving the nest, mainly because she spoiled them so much, and she, sees them as an extension of herself. So she's always rushing to their defense. She's very protective. So she really, wants to shelter them from the cold, harsh world. But in that vein, she's really doing them damage because she's creating codependence. Also, the really dark sided Leo female, a Leo mother, she can actually create an Oedipus complex within her sons, meaning like her sons adore her so much that it's kind of like that, kind of like that twisted relationship. So if you don't know about the Oedipus complex, do some research about that. That was about this myth. This Oedipus guy, he fell in love with his mother, and it was just this twisted relationship. But basically, the dark-sided Leo mother is prone to producing male children that have Oedipus complexes. Also, in terms of sex, she tends to overdo it in bed. She can be like an actress instead of like being real with it. So sometimes she just puts on too much. She's the queen of faking orgasms, and it's all about, performance for her. So she may not be really open. It may be all about, okay, I have to portray this image of like a superstar in bed, but she's not really giving all of herself because she's so self-conscious of how she's coming across. She might also be uptight about certain sexual positions or, certain sexual activities. So Leo is a sign of sex. However, it's that romantic, dreamy sex, and it's also the sex that leads to conception. But the dark side of Leo female, she might be a little uptight because she's so egotistical and so, self-conscious about how she's appearing while she's in the throes of sex. She can also be very aggressive in bed. Another type of dark side of Leo female, very aggressive, too controlling. She might be the type that, uh, hurts her man in bed because she's bouncing up and down too hard on him, thinking that that's the way to get him off, not knowing, sensitivity or, you know that the need to be delicate. So one dark-sided Leo female, she could be just very, all about performance, be almost like an actor, faking orgasms, being overly dramatic, where the other one is just too aggressive, too manly, saying, get over here, I'm going to ride you real hard, and maybe almost snap your dick in half because she's so aggressive and trying to bring you to orgasm because she wants to be seen as the best in bed. Again, that competitive nature. Just think about Halle Berry in that Monsters Ball movie. Halle Berry is a Leo, and she's a classic Leo in terms of dark side of Leo dark side of Leo traits. Now she's not dark sided altogether, but she does have some dark side traits if you just look at her string of relationships, and then also just look at her performance in Monsters Ball when she was in that sex scene with Billy Bob Thornton, which it has been rumored that she was actually having sex during that scene. But if you look at her, she looks very plastic. It's not like it's real. Like she's all like, make me feel good, make me feel good. And it's like, it's just too much. It's just overly dramatic. It's not even convincing. It's like, really? Like, that's not even sexy. So that's what I mean. Like, just too plastic, too overly dramatic. You could tell that she's acting. So some dark sided Leo females may have that problem. And then they wonder why their man is cheating on them with like a Scorpio or Aquarius chick. So yeah, so what else? So during breakups they could be downright evil. She'll hit below the belt. She'll expose your dirty laundry. If you have a warrant, she'll call the cops on you about that. If you have children with her, she'll set you against the children. She has a tendency to blame the father of the children for everything. Um, and she'll basically dog you out, but she'll try to be cool with your family or your people, so she'll try to stay, on good terms with that, because she wants to project this image that, she's on the good, or she's on the up and up, or she's the righteous one, or she's the one that, doesn't have the problem. So she'll be running to his friends or family talking about, I don't know what's wrong with him, I tried to do everything to please him or whatever, knowing good and well she's the one that ran him off. So basically, that's my take on the dark sided Leo female. Actually, I feel like I didn't go in hard enough. So I might have to do a little addendum to this, after I meditate on this a little bit. If you feel like I've left anything out, or if you would like to contribute some of your personal experiences with the dark sided Leo female, please feel free. Please like and subscribe. And my next video will be on the dark sided Virgo female. Please stay tuned for that. Peace and blessings.